Hello and happy Manga Monday! We are back doing some first volume reviews. Woo! You all voted for it, so here we go with my romance and slice of life first volumes. I ended up having a lot of them, so I've broken them up into two videos. Today's we'll be tackling the new romance and slice of life first volumes that came out this year that you shouldn't be sleeping on. I actually genuinely thought all of these were really good. Obviously, there's some I liked a little bit more than others, but I would recommend all of these to the right person, you know, because not every manga is going to be for everyone. So yeah, since I'm already sweating, let's jump into this video. I'm going to start with slice of life stories, and they each have like a possible element of romance in them, some more than others. But they vibed more like they were going to be more all around about these people's lives than just their specific romances. You know, not that romances don't have more going on, but I think you'll see what I mean. But we're gonna go from the most slice of life and blend that into the romances, and I will tell you my ratings for each of these. So first up we have Bless. And I must admit, I was very much intrigued by this cover. I mean, look at her. She's stunning. Those colors, they pop. They pop. I love the gold. I'm a sucker for a cover buy. What can I say? The story follows two high school students who seem to be in a school that's kind of more geared towards fashion already, and one worked in the modeling realm before, but he'd rather be a makeup artist, and his name is pretty hard for me to pronounce, so bear with me. Aya? Is that? I don't know. A-I-A is, yeah. Anyway, he is perceived as a model for his good looks, and like I said, he did work in the industry for a little bit before quitting, but his passion really is makeup and being a makeup artist. And he ends up getting teamed up with the tall, lanky, but a little bit awkward girl, June. So June is a little self-conscious about her height, but unlike a lot of manga where this would be like a big thing she'd have to overcome, it seems more like she was just waiting for an opportunity to let go of that awkwardness and those like fears and really shine. So they team up for this contest and end up winning, which kind of catapults them into a new realm of popularity and notoriety at their school and outside their school. We can definitely see where they are going to struggle and triumph throughout this industry. And you know, it's one of those slice of life type stories that's just all about coming into your own and honing your craft and fighting for your passion. And I really like them, especially when it is geared towards the fashion industry, because it's an industry that like I don't know really anything about, but I find fascinating, you know? So it's like taking like a little peek into it. But yeah, overall I really like this one. I'd give it like a solid 8.5 out of 10 stars, just to like give you an overall vibe of like how I'd stack these manga up against one another in this video. I think ratings they don't tell you a lot overall, but I do like to share with you how I feel when comparing a bunch of different ones in the same vein. So yeah, it was pretty enjoyable, and I must say probably the highlight for me was the art. The art is just so nice to look at. Like it just, you know, like I love most manga art, I have to say, but there's some that just make you stop and stare like, wow, goddamn, it's beautiful. So yeah, overall, really solid series. And if any of that intrigues you, I think you'll really enjoy it because it's well written with these cute, quirky characters. Next up, and the one with I believe the most interesting premise, was Just Like Mona Lisa. So this is the one that I'd say the premise will be the thing to keep me reading personally. I liked the characters, but I couldn't, you know, honestly tell you, like, I felt like they were very nuanced and interesting by the end of this first volume. Like in Bless, I felt like their personalities were already shining through, whereas this one, I think a lot of it is going into the world building and setting up this overarching plot for the story. So yeah, like it's a slice of life, but in a whole nother kind of alternate reality. And that alternate reality is a world where people are born genderless, without a gender. And then at about age 12, most people choose their gender. However, there is our titular main character here. Hinase has been content living without a gender for 18 years. And they don't really care either way. However, there is a wrench thrown into their seemingly easygoing life when all of a sudden their two childhood friends, the bubbly girl Ritsu and the thoughtful boy Shiori, both on the same day confess their feelings to Hinase. So yeah, now they're in a pickle, caught in the middle of a love triangle, if you will. And yeah, so like to me, the world building and the intrigue of the setting is, like I said, where I'm definitely going to keep reading just to get more of this world. And the love triangle to me is kind of just I don't care for either Ritsu or Shiori, to be quite frank with you, and is probably why I put it more in the slice of life than in the like romance category, because to me, I don't care for the romance aspect of it, but it also just vibes more like slice of life kind of coming of age story with romance as, you know, a major component of that, but not like a romance story per se. I don't, yeah, the nuances. Yeah, anyway, this one has a really interesting and distinct art as well, where this one has these little highlights of striking blue throughout, and that was really enjoyable and different and definitely made the art stand out for me. And yeah, same with the premise. We also get a little twist by the end that throws another wrench into Hinase's life. However, we know and they don't. So yeah, it's really interesting. I won't spoil what that extra little twist is because you'll just have to read it and find out. But yeah, again, I would probably rate this one an 8.5. There were things lacking to me, like the characters were a little one note. I thought Hinase was interesting enough. Their friends were just okay. And the love triangle felt unnecessary, but I'm hoping that, like I said, volume 1 was a lot of setup, and that volume 2 will delve into more of their shared experiences and their friendship, and make me love the characters more. And I really hope they have something interesting to say about gender as a whole, so I'll be curious as to how this one plays out for sure. Next up, and definitely my favorite of the slice of life category, was My Atomicon. This one surprised me, and I definitely want to preface this by saying I know this won't be for everyone, because you have to really find Atomicon relatable and or likable to enjoy this story. Like, not only is he, you know, the protagonist, the titular character, it's a slice of life and set in school, and there's nothing different about this world. There's not even a fashion component. So it's very much just day to day, and a lot of it is focused on Atami's cute little crushes. And I honestly started it and was kind of just like, okay. But the more internal dialogue of Atami and his out-of-pocket overall-ness, the more I just deeply love this boy. Like, I just can't express it. Like some of the ways he thinks, the way his thought process moves from like one random thought to another random thought to a completely other random thought. I'm like, oh my god, that's me. That's my brain. So there was like a level of relatability for me. Also how he just moves from crush to crush to crush after they like turn him down or they get a girlfriend or whatever happens. Yeah, that was me in high school. I think I crushed on 90% of the boy population. And maybe some of the girls. Who's to say? But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting because it's so very grounded and so very slow paced and just weird. Because these characters are a little weird. They're a little odd, but I think overall likable. Like I think even if you don't relate to him, if you just like a little bit of a weird comedy edge to your slice of life, this might hit your funny bone. But it's very specific. You know, it's oddly specific. So if it doesn't hit for you, I don't think you'll enjoy it. So yeah, it's one of those like hit or miss type ones. But yeah, Atomicon is a really good looking guy. He gets asked out by girls a lot and he rejects all the girls. That is because he is in fact attracted to boys. I love how this is handled so casually, and everyone that he has told, which so far has been 2 guys and one of the guys' families, they've just kind of taken it in stride, been a little surprised or like, oh, you're confessing to me, which happens to one of them. But then in the end, they're just kind of like, okay, cool, like, we can be friends. We can, you know, you can keep coming over. Like they don't treat him any differently, and it's just treated so casually, and I just really like that. Like it's not brushed off, but it's also just like not like a huge deal, like coming out, oh scary. Sorry, I am making fun, and it like no, like it's a serious fear for a lot of people to come out. And although Atomicon doesn't seem to be that phased about coming out or like expressing that he likes guys, he does choose who he says it to and doesn't like come out to everyone in the school or anything. So I really liked that the people he did open up to were so kind and were, you know, taking it in stride. I like, you know, I like to see it, and I like to see especially when a guy confesses to another guy in a manga. A lot of times it's either they end up dating or the guy's like, what the fuck, ew. But I think things are changing for sure, and this is a great exemplar of that change, which I love to see, in the fact that he could just be like, yeah, sorry, I'm interested in someone else, but thanks, and they could just stay friends. And it was just, I mean, sometimes you can't stay friends with a crush. Depends on how deep the feelings go. For Atomicon, he seems to have just like these very just like cute crushes where he just finds the person attractive, fascinating to observe and enjoy our interactions. And yeah, I don't know, something about crushes. I kind of miss that. I feel like I haven't had a crush on a real person. A lot of fictional crushes, but not a real person in such a long time. But yeah, it's very charming and just silly and very, very slice of life, but definitely has this little romantic crush element running throughout. So yeah, I love Atomicon. I love his friends that he makes. They're all so cute and adorable, and I can't wait to read more of their just day-to-day high school lives. Like, I don't feel that way a lot of times with slice of life. I just want to read about their boring ass days. But with this one, I really do. It sounds bad, but you know, like, I think slice of life, you just have to fall in love with the characters. It's all about connecting with the characters. And yeah, personally, I connected with Atomicon. So yeah, I give this one a 10 out of 10, but like I prefaced, I think this one's very, very subjective. Like, you're either gonna love it or you're not gonna be like, eh, wasn't for me. Like, I feel nothing. So yeah, at least that's what I think. Now we're moving on to the romance, full stop. It was like a little transition. gonna keep on going. Don't mind me. So first up, we have one that I waited a bit on, to be honest with you, but I always knew I would pick it up eventually, and that is My Love Story with Yatan at level 999. So this to me is pure shoujo. So it has a very, very shoujo-esque setup, and what I would consider a very shoujo inspired main girl. Like she fits the T of a shoujo main protagonist, and her name is Akane. So college student Akane has just been dumped by her boyfriend. She's feeling pretty hurt, pretty raw by it. She can't let go. He found another person in the game that he asked her to start playing with him, and left her for that other girl. I know things happen. I know you can connect better with someone else, but just like you introduced her, you wanted to bond with her over something you were passionate about, and then you meet someone else while you're playing with her. Like, oh my God, just stop, full stop. Ew. Anyway, he's gone, he's done, finito. But she's pretty broken up about it, and for some reason, because you get a little twisty when you get broken up with, she decides the best idea is to get all dolled up and go to this big gaming convention that she hopes to see her ex at for this particular game that they had been playing together, and that she will be, you know, of course, so beautiful and irresistible that he will realize what he is missing and come back to her. Of course, that's not what happened, but she does end up meeting Yamada-kun. Yamada-kun? Yamada-kun. Yamada-kun. Oh my God, I'm terrible with names. What's wrong with me and my brain and the connection from my brain to my mouth? But anyway, Yamada-kun is kind of a sourpuss. Again, he's very much like your titular shoujo male protagonist. He's cold, he's distant and blunt, but he does have that little kind edge to him. Same formula with a little bit of modern tweaking is how I feel. Like, let's not make the guy too toxic anymore. How about that? But yeah, I do love their dynamic. Like I said, quintessential shoujo vibes from this one. And yeah, I mean, Yamada-kun's more interested in gaming than he is in people, but I'm sure that he'll warm up to Akane before long. It is a romance manga after all. But yeah, I like their interaction so far. It's not much else to say because I've seen it before, I'll see it again. But in the end, if it's not broke, why fix it? It works, it's cute and appealing, and if you are a lover of shoujo, I definitely think you can't go wrong with this one. It is, I will say, an age gap because she is a college student while he is still in high school. So, if you don't mind that couple years age gap, then yeah, I mean, it's not a huge disgusting age gap, but sometimes it's kind of weird when a college student dates a high schooler, but we'll see. Might take a while. Might take a while for their relationship to even get to a friendship level, but I guess we'll have to get the second volume to find that out. I would give it, I think, an 8 out of 10. There's nothing wrong with it, just that I've seen it before a lot. My favorite of the romances was Reliving My Life with a Boyfriend Who Doesn't Remember Me. I mean, the title intrigued, the cover is pretty and alluring, and I read the back and was like, oh, it's one of those goes back in time to another point in your life and your past situations. I am indeed a sucker for those. So yeah, this one kind of dotted the I's and crossed the T's on the romance type of stories I have been interested in lately. I won't deny that. It's tailor-made for me. But yeah, I just love the premise, which is that Oriana, a 17-year-old magic student, suddenly dies alongside her boyfriend Vincent. However, she immediately returns from death in the body of her 7-year-old self. With the memories of her past life intact, she decides to just hunker down and wait to be reunited with her love, Vincent. All the while, learning as much as she can to try and avoid their horrible fate. However, when she meets Vincent, she is very startled and crushed to find out he does not remember her in their past life together. So somehow she has all her memories intact while he does not. And she is still, of course, super devoted to protecting him and figuring out what happened in their previous life so as to prevent it from happening. Even though, you know, he's kind of just like, this is a weird girl and I don't really know if I want anything to do with her. Like, boop, boop, boop. Yeah, you know, when a girl suddenly like runs at you out of the blue and you have no previous knowledge of them and they're shouting about how they love you and they missed you, then it could be a little bit of a hard foot to start off on. Yeah, I just really feel though for Oriana through the whole thing. And she is struggling and working so hard for this guy that does not even remember her, nor, you know, for a large part of it, like, I mean, he's not cruel to her or anything, but he's like, this girl's weird. Like, and I mean, from his perspective, not remembering her, then yeah, she is a bit weird, not gonna lie. She comes off a bit strong, but, you know, we understand why. So yeah, it's just so, it's so heart-wrenching and bittersweet, and I am so invested because of course I need to know what happened to them in the past, and I need them to get back together and get close and fall in love again. Well, or like Vincent to fall in love with Oriana again, at least in this lifetime. So yeah, I love it. I love me a do-over story. Like I said, this one was perfect for me, and I'm so glad I picked it up, and I'm so glad I could pre-order the second volume from the Barnes & Noble sale just in time. I think it comes out in September or October, I don't know, feels like so long from now, but yeah, I'm really excited to read it, and obviously I'm giving this one a 10 out of 10. I love it, and if you like do-over stories, if you like kind of that like almost faded love, but it's different because like they did fall in love genuinely and authentically in their last life, but yeah, it's kind of like, can they come back together again in this one? It pulls at my heartstrings so good. So yeah, I super duper loved this romance. Yeah, I don't know, I don't need to go on and on about it. I know, wrap it up, Zoe. But yeah, I recommend it. And yeah, that'll do it for part 1. Like I said, I do have 5 more volumes of slice in life of life and romance manga first volumes to go over with you. However, these ones are all going to be older, from either last year or quite a bit older than that. There are some that I picked up that I had been, I don't know, just kind of sitting on for a while, just like, I don't know if this interests me. And then this year, this month, I randomly decided, yes, it does. Yeah, I'll be going over those older titles with you. I'm hoping Friday evening. I'll celebrate the end of a long work week with a Ms. Manga video, maybe? I don't know. But if you do check it out, I will be so happy. Please, please, please don't forget to subscribe. That's all I ask of you. Oh, and if you could be so kind as to hit the like button, I double appreciate you. And yeah, let me know below what romance slice of life titles you've read and which ones you've loved, because it's a genre that I love, because this whole damn room is filled with it. So yeah, romance is adorable and I love. So yeah, until next time, bye.